Hello! Today is going to be a little bit different. I've just finished work. It's the first day of February. Yesterday we had record highs of +8 degrees at the end of January, which is unheard of here. And I've got an hour and a half to kill before I have to fetch my son from college. So let's go on a little bit of a walk somewhere local, and then I can go and fetch my lad afterwards. Today we're going to do the neighbourhood of Grassy, and this is the walk I did around it. There's really not much to do. In fact, there's nothing to do in Grassy. So how can I fill a video with anything? And my lad says, well, why don't you just do one of those top 5 experiences videos, top 5 things you've enjoyed the most about the last, what is it, 49 episodes. I thought, yeah, why not? We'll go up to Grassy, we'll have a minor wander, maybe get something to eat, and we'll talk about the top 5. I like the name of that park, Rotary Sunrise. Reminds me of those circular things you'd get on grandfather clocks that would gradually rotate, and the moon would go down and the sun would go up. Rotary Sunrise sounds very mechanical. I like that. Well, we're here in Grassy. I am walking along the Chief Pegwis Greenway, and this is quite the well manicured trail. But as I say, we've had a very mild winter and a lot of this stuff is melting now. So I would expect it to be a pretty nice walk. But liking Rotary Sunrise as a park name is not one of my top 5 things that we can talk about today. So number 5, I would say the thing I enjoy the most is the planning. I love spreadsheets, I love maps, I love drawing maps, I love tracking where I've walked, counting the miles, figuring out which one is next on the alphabetical tour, which ones can be done together, who's going to come with me, are there places where I can get beer, all that kind of research and planning I really, really enjoy. Well, that was just a very small part of the Chief Pegwis Greenway. It actually carries on over there across Route 59 into Eaglemere. And if you'd like to know more about Eaglemere, I'll leave a link in the description for that. And not 20 meters further north here from the Chief Pegwis Trail, or the Chief Pegwis Greenway, we come up immediately upon another trail. Not as well kept. The Cordite Trail. Isn't that like an explosive? Number 2, the second thing I am enjoying about these walks, and it can only happen in winter, is walking on a frozen river. That's something, growing up in the UK, you can't do it. And it took me until last year to muster up the courage to actually do it here. But there's something very exhilarating about standing on what is normally a fast flowing and very dangerous body of water. That's been great, and you see the city from an entirely different viewpoint when you're in a river basin. So definitely number 2 on the list. Now Grassy continues way over there. And that road you can see is Grassy Boulevard. But in the interest of time, we're not going to go that way today. We'll join back up with Chief Pegwist Greenway. What would number 3 be? I think number 3, silly though it sounds, is my reintroduction to public transport. Only last year I discovered that the bus at the top of my street takes me all the way downtown. Single bus. And from downtown you can get practically anywhere in Winnipeg. And now I have my Pego bus card, which gives me 25 cents off per trip. And you know, sometimes it's nice to just sit on a bus and let somebody else drive for you. See all the weirdos and the nutcases getting on. See how drunk they are or how drunk I am. But yeah, number 3, that reintroduction to public transportation. Now I would have to say that, of course, because I work at the place where they build transit buses. So I want the transit authorities to wear these buses out so they buy more from us. Alright, we're going to move now to the south of Grassy, which is the only place that I could find that serves a bit of food. Let's see if we can't get a bite to eat before I have to go and collect my son. Well, it's not looking too good, so we'll try and make the most of this. Hello. Well, this is fantastic. It's a little convenience store, and I have 2 fresh samosas. My goodness. Comes with a hot dipping sauce as well. Let's give that a shot. Thank you very much. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised there. So what would number 4 be? Well, that is the exercise, and you could argue that today I'm perhaps not getting as much exercise as I normally do, but I have done hundreds of kilometres that I wouldn't otherwise have done. So exercise is definitely a good one. That's the trouble with these mild winters, is that you can't keep your car clean. I am currently in the not neighbourhood, what would you call it, district of North Transcona, and that's miles away from my neighbourhood. So while we're doing Grassy, I figured we could also do Griffin. Griffin is full of private industry and is bisected by a ton of industrial railway lines. This was the walk I managed to do around it, and it was -19. There was no sidewalks. The ploughs had been through, the roads were narrow, the roads were slippery. It was absolutely horrible. There was massive trucks, there was actual snow ploughs going to where they need to go. It was super dangerous and super horrible. I'm not going to go and do that again. I do have a little bit of footage here to prove that I went there, and the saving grace of that particular neighbourhood was a bloke pulled up in a car and offered to help me out. He was wondering what on earth I was doing walking around a industrial neighbourhood in -19 all by myself. So thank you to that bloke for pulling over and just asking if I was okay. All right, let's go and pick up my lad. All right, I made it to my son's pickup point here at the A&W on the corner of King Edward and Notre Dame. So what's number one? Well, number one is basically seeing all these weird places, all these weird neighbourhoods that I otherwise would never have seen. I'm getting to see all sorts of Winnipeg, and it's fascinating. Some of them are a bit grotty, some of them are nice, and then some of them, like today, are sort of nondescript, really very little to offer. But on that note, thank you Grassy for your hospitality, and thank you Griffin, especially that bloke in the car that tried to rescue me, for your hospitality as well.